It does speak about not only the relationship, but the monthly stipends, which not only Akhan the third, but Akhan first, second, and third, all of them have had from the British. And Akhan would say, I will do such and such things for you in Afghanistan and Kirman and so forth. And in return, just give me such and such stipend, right? Or just pay for my services.
But one thing that I would say is very interesting is something that you mentioned earlier about the relationship, which I think the viewers would find fascinating, between like the latter imams, or the Aga Khans, as they came known to be, I'm sorry, and their relationship with the British. It's interesting because, from what I understand, and you can keep me honest here, is that after they in I think it's Kermanshah, where they tried to take over the little area after they were gifted it, and he was crushed by the ruler of Iran. He fled to Afghanistan, and at that point, I think they became mercenaries for the British government at that time. Um,
Exactly.
and and then from that point, after the British were terribly defeated in Afghanistan, they ended up shifting them to India, which is where
Yeah.
this whole new kind of branch, I guess what I would say, the Hinduization portion of it came, because they tried to appeal to the Hindus that were there, and then that kind of is a reflection of what we maybe see among the Khoja AgaKhanis today. Is that fair enough to say?
Yeah, essentially, if you read the book by Harry Greenwald, and I have it on my website on Rethinking Ismailism, it does speak about not only the relationship, but the monthly stipends, which not only Akhan the third, but Akhan first, second, and third, all of them have had from the British, and also Meher Bose, a very famous researcher. I mean, he used to focus on sports personalities and still does, but one of his interests was investigating the Aga Khan. And so in his book, The Aga Khans, which I again have on the website, you would see letters which are exchanged between the British and the Aga Khan, and Aga Khan would say, I will do such and such things for you in Afghanistan and Kirman and so forth. And in return, just give me such and such stipend, right? Or just pay for my services. So essentially, that used to be the trend of all the Aga Khans. And even today, you would see that Karim Aga Khan, even though he's recently moved his headquarters from France to Portugal, he still maintains very, very close ties with the British monarchy. You would see him with the Queen and the royal family very commonly, and also, which kind of dovetails into his influence over a lot of projects which happen in the developing world, because that's where he gets a lot of his projects from through the UN, and working on the heritage sites and so forth through one of his companies called the Akhan Trust for Culture. So yeah, I mean, strong ties with the British, and the sudden claim of imama also came. What I say is that this wasn't something which was masterminded just by the Aga Khan. This was masterminded, yes, but it was with the help of the British, and those are the same people who brought up personalities like Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. And that all of these efforts are just a part of that divide and conquer strategy. And so I would say Ismailism, in terms of Al Khan claiming his imama, and Qadianism in terms of Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani proclaiming his prophethood, or I would say two big wedges which they threw into the Muslim Ummah, so which still prevail, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think what's really interesting, or the viewers might find interesting, is that both of these groups happen to spring out of the Indian subcontinent.
Mm.
And ironically, it came out during a time where the British were trying to find a way to undermine the Ottoman Empire. They were trying to finally bring it down to its knees. And the age old idea of divide and conquer seemed to be at play here, because it's interesting to note that both of these groups, the Aga Khani Ismailis and the Ahmadis or Qadianis, they both encouraged the Muslim majority populations in the area to not revolt against the British rule and to actually disavow from the Ottoman Empire.